What's good, gang? What's going on? How are we this afternoon? New York session, baby. What's good, guys? Where we at? Who's in the room this afternoon? Let me scroll all the way to the top. What's good? George, drunk again. How you doing? Driver's room, excellence. How you going, man? How you going, man? What's going on with my words today? All right, and Tom Tat, what's good, man? Greg's, all the Gregs are in the building. Sack Trades, what's happening, bro? Lady Crypto, how you doing? Who else we got? Carneo Keto, how you doing? Harry, what's good? I struggle to say your name, bro, man. I really do struggle. Premier Crypto, what's happening? Confessions, what's good? PC Shed, good afternoon, sir. Crypto 6, what is going on? Listening at work, man. I hope you're all good, Greg, man. I know you ain't been feeling too good. G-Unit, what's good? Omar, what's happening? Waiting for the love to come into the room, man. What's going on? Pancho. My guy. West Coast is awake. Rise and shine, New York. It's your time of the day. It's time for you guys to shine. What will New York bring today, ladies and gentlemen? That is the question. Okay? So without further ado, for anybody new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. To my pattern watchers, welcome to the Traders Reality Show. My name is Tino. Let's have a conversation, guys. Flip to the charts, man. No time to mess about. We have got a very short window for the stream. As always, I need you guys to remind me that I need to go and get my daughter. So when the comments start blowing up just before 3 o'clock, happy days, I'll get off. All right? So, and I ask that because I always lose myself in the charts and I just go off on one. But anyway, what's been going on with Bitcoin? Last night, Asian session. They threw everybody off the board yet again. Okay? You can see bright as day. Complete collapse. All right? Now, when you look at it from a perspective of the ADR itself for Bitcoin, okay, so let me just bring up Bitcoin. Bitcoin normally travels 28,031 pips in an average session. Okay, so from the daily open, it's likely to travel this distance. Okay, so from the daily open to where my cursor is right now, that is where Bitcoin is likely to travel. Now, if we look at it from the daily open and come all the way down here, it exceeded that actual range, but up to 34,000 pips. Remember, pips is the smallest change in price. Okay, so it traveled 34,000 pips and snapped straight back up into the normal range. Okay, because that's what it needs to do. It needs to stick to a normal range. It needs to come to the mean again. All right, and this is where we are right now. We are back in the range with Bitcoin. What are the chances of Bitcoin actually coming back towards this zone right here? Okay, because when you dive into the chart itself, you're going to see bright as day the vector candles. All right, now we have already recovered this previous zone in the chart. Okay, and they tapped some of the liquidity in the wick. Now you dive further into the actual candlestick itself. On the 5-minute time frame, you're going to see some more vector candles appearing. Look, there's the whole vector candle right there. And we've also got this one zone right here. Now, on the 5-minute time frame, Bitcoin is showing a blue stopping volume candle, but it has yet to close. We've got 1 more minute until that actually closes. Sorry, 23 seconds, which is going to tell us as to whether or not they are going to keep price in this range. But look, guys, they've snapped price down aggressively, came straight back up again. This, by principle, was to lure the retail trade into the belief that the shorts were coming into the game. Okay? That's what's important about this, guys. They've dropped price down in the Asian session and marked it straight back up. What are they trying to do? Is this the point where we will see a little bit of a retrace back up? Look at the hourly. Where they at? You can see nowhere near the 50 EMA. They came back up earlier on today and spiked the 43,500 zone twice. All right, they're building shorts at the highest possible point. Look at the vector candles on the 15-minute time frame. Look, vector candles spikes above the 43,500, pulls price back down again. Does it one more time, pulls it back. Okay, what we need to try and pay attention to is Bitcoin right now is holding the 50 EMA on the 15-minute time frame, which is the 13 EMA on the hourly. We're waiting for clear intention. Now, the New York brink session, which starts now, okay, well, it actually started 20 minutes ago at 2 o'clock, all right, is now in full swing. 10 more minutes until the futures market opens. We may see a little bit of volatility from that point. Now, New York is famous for one or two things. It's either going to continue with the desired direction or it's going to make a reversal. They may make a stop hunt rise or a stop hunt low, and then we'll see the reversal from that point. But right now, Bitcoin is trying to stabilize at the 50 EMA. It, by principle, is very extended to the downside. The drop down is very extended. Look at the 4-hour, man. Just look at that. All right? Complete annihilation, but it's trying to hold this 800 EMA zone. Now, word of warning on moving averages, okay? Sometimes any asset, when it's trying to test a moving average, all right, don't always assume that the moment it hits it, that's going to be the point of support. No, it isn't. It's always about the range around it, okay? So this is how you establish support at a moving average. If it's holding in and around that zone and you can see it moving up and down around that point, it's because people have been placing orders at this zone. So they're getting those orders filled. Remember, before Bitcoin actually came lower towards the 800 EMA on the 4-hourly, there are people putting orders there. But we also have to consider that over here as well, there were people that had orders in there as well that got triggered, whether they were long or short. It was a point in the chart that they were able to bring price back to spark interest to get back in again. Now, that interest is favorable for who? It's not for the retail trader, it's for the market maker. Because up here, the market maker can see where people are buying in at Bitcoin because they believe it needs to be at 40, 41, 43, 42, whatever. Because people are fixated on value. They seem to think that numbers need to be installed in their mind for them to believe that Bitcoin should get to that number or be away from that number for them to open a trade. Okay? Now, this is what we need to understand. You know what? Whatever news information is out there, all right, it's irrelevant. Frankly, it doesn't matter. All right? It's irrelevant. The reason being is because by the time the news information is absorbed in price, they would have made the move. Remember, they set up the move before the news comes out. When the news comes out, it throws people off. People are like, look, I was in a trade to the downside, and then all of a sudden, price spiked up against me. Wrong. They were marking up the longs to the downside in preparation for that news to come out because it would trigger a lot of interest. People would do something with that information, and then it would throw price in the opposite direction, but they've been building their longs. All right? Now, remember, when they build longs, and I'm talking about market makers, when they build the longs, they also close shorts at the same time. The only way that they can build their longs, the way they can build their shorts, close the shorts, is if they're freeing up liquidation points and stops from the previous move up. Okay, so you can see this move earlier had, not on the 4-hourly, but on the hourly, there were vector candles coming up into this zone. All right, so if you look back, there's your vectors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vectors to the upside. Then they stabilize price, make one more hit to the upside, trap the retail trader, and then they offload right here, and then they bring price down further by taking up the liquidation points and the stops. All right? Pay attention to liquidation points, ladies and gentlemen. When you're looking at charts, for every time they move higher, you know the market maker's building shorts. Why? Because you can only buy when someone is selling, and you can only sell if someone buys. If you're a retail trader and you're going short, in order for you to go short, someone has to give you the liquidity and match their order against yours, which is a long. Because when you want to realize a profit on your short, where do you think you're getting the liquidity from? You're getting it from the trade that has been opened against you. This is the zero-sum game. One man's fun is another's hell. All right? That's the basis of this game. That's the mechanics of trading. That's how liquidity moves from one place to the next. Is the game manipulated? No, it's managed. It's managed to the expectation of the market maker. Wherever he decides to enter is where he's able to spark interest by the retail trader. Look how many guys are trading EMA crossovers, Fibonacci's, robots, you name it. Something is triggering people to step in. And the market maker does that by doing these big spikes in price. And you've also got social media. So it's a bit of a crazy thing. So what can we expect from New York? Well, Bitcoin has stayed in this zone, especially in the EU brink zone. Okay, the Asian session spiked price lower, but reversed it back up. That is a clue for me. That tells me that they've absorbed as much liquidity as they can from this point in the chart. They've reversed back up. How many people are thinking Bitcoin is going to continue higher? the market maker will facilitate that sort of thinking and make people believe it will continue higher so that they can commit their liquidity into the trade. At the same time, the market maker is able to build more shorts on the retrace back up. All right? Something that we need to pay attention to on the higher time frame. In the bigger picture, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Let me just get rid of all of this stuff here. The bigger picture right here shows that we are at a peak formation. So it looks like a big M has formed, which is a variation of a head and shoulders pattern. All right? Can you see that? Is everybody aware of it? Can we see that? This is it. It's the question that you need to ask yourself before you even come to the charts. Before you place any trade, the first question you ask yourself is, what does the market maker want the retail trader to think? If you understand what he's trying to make the retail trader think, you'll have an idea as to where the market maker is going to send price. If you are new to the channel and you're asking what head and shoulders is, tells me that you're new to trading, okay? Or if you are completely new to the idea of trading, I'd suggest you start with one of the playlists in the channel called It's All in the Mind. Because if I had my time again, I would focus more on working out my character, my personality as a trader before I worked out how to trade. Because you can have 100% success rate on trading. If you haven't got a mindset that's going to support that, there's no point in trading. All right. You can have the best system out there. It won't turn a profit because you don't have the mindset to manage that. All right. So this is what we need to understand. M formation. What are they actually trying to do? All right. If the market maker's intention is to drop lower, what are we needing to see? So, by principle of the cycle, for anybody new to the channel, this is the weekly cycle that we expect to see price form on a weekly basis. Okay, now it's different for Forex and crypto. We are, by principle, in this zone right now, as you can see. This is where we are. We are waiting for it to form. We've had the first level drop level 1. We've formed that right here. Okay. Now, in order for us to solidify a level 2 drop, we would need to break below level 1. And it has broken below level 1 consolidation. This, from this point all the way here, all the way to that point, is level 1. Now, they've broken below that zone. Now, after a few conversations with a couple of individuals in the channel, it's safe to say that Bitcoin has this habit of actually only forming 2 level drops and then go straight into a peak formation. Notice that. Go back in the streams and you will see that. Every time we see an M formation, Bitcoin drops, forms level 1, rises back up, drops level 2, and goes straight into a peak formation. It doesn't always form a level 3 drop. Okay? Now, you've got to remember the actual move from Bitcoin. When Bitcoin dropped from the Asian session Monday, it dropped 2 times ADR. Now, we expect Bitcoin to move 3 times ADR. So it's going to move in a cycle to the upside or to the downside by sticking to its ADR times 3. So if Bitcoin moves 10,000 pips in one ADR session, that's one cyclical move up. By the end of the week, we should see them move 3 times in that direction, whether it's up or down. Bitcoin moved twice as much in one session, and that was in the Asian session. Okay? So they are quite extended. How long is the market maker going to make people believe that it's extended? Because if he makes people believe it's really extended, that is where naturally people are going to come in and start buying, which is the point where he decides to drop lower. All right? Because he's going to hit the liquidation points for the guys who go long here and tap price up to the upside, okay, and then pull it back down again. Yeah? New York is now officially open, so we've got to keep an eye out on this. So, back to this little concept right here. We've had the drop level 1, rise, drop level 2. By principle, we should see Bitcoin move back up here and then make another move down, hit the VCR zone, retrace, continuation back up and form a pattern. Is that what is going to happen? We won't know until they reveal their hand. the most important thing we need to pay attention to is the idea behind the wick. Last night's wick is very important, guys, because that is where money is at right now. Okay, drop down onto the lower time frames. You will see it bright as day. Look. Come on. There you go. We got a blue vector candle right here. There's a good chance that they will bring price back down into this point. If they do bring it down to this point and that we are finished with this move to the downside so that we can see a little bit of a retrace back up, this could be the development of a W formation. When I say could be, that's the operative word. Could be. Okay? Because all we've got is the hard right now. We have to project out based on the behavior of the market maker. All right? Just look at this. Market maker induces retail trader to go short. He grabs their liquidity. He goes long at the lowest possible point. He then snaps price all the way back up and hits the liquidation points and the stops for the retail trader. The retail trader has now been stopped out. He's pretty angry, okay? He waits for price to form a resistance at the 50 EMA. At the 50 EMA on the 15-minute time frame, you can see notable volume candlesticks appearing above the 43,500. Remember, when the retail trader's going long, the market maker's going short. Now, the retail trader that got stopped out here, he either thinks it's going to continue higher or he's going to try and get in on a short if it drops down again. Okay? So, in other words, the market maker has liquidity to move in and out of positions. Now, what's going to happen likely is if there is enough retail traders that believe price is going to continue lower, the market maker will facilitate that and start going long even more. He will solidify the retail trader's intention of going short because he missed out on the move to the downside because he got stopped out. He then allows price to drop. In this area, we should see vector candles appearing. So we could see a little bit of activity by New York. New York should bring some more vectors. Alternatively, if they don't bring price down and they simply spike away up, that would imply that the retail trader has added a lot of shorts in this zone because he thinks that everything is going down anyway. So he's entered prematurely. If the market maker wants to commit more liquidity into the chart, he will guide price down lower. That's what we are waiting for. Now, this pattern itself is a psychological pattern. It's what does the retail trader think? Because whatever he thinks, he's going to put it into the chart. He might be blown out from losses based on this move to the downside. What if he was going long here? You know, he may be taken out on that basis. So he needs action. He's got to recuperate his money. Market maker might make him believe that it's going to continue lower. Yeah? Are we all good with that, ladies and gentlemen? Before I start looking at another coin. How is that for you? Cool. Rule 1, nobody knows. Rule 2, everybody lies. You know? So I've got 2 rules. Rule 1, the market is always right. Okay? Rule 2, if the market is wrong, see rule 1. And then you sort it out. That puts everything into perspective. You know? Crypto Maniac, what's good, man? Callum, do you ever use the fear and greed index to realize market sentiment? Price would have absorbed that sentiment because if when price is marking down lower, okay, the fear greed index will say that everybody's feeling fearful. But I understand that when price is dropping, they are building positions. Now, remember, guys, how long can the market maker build positions for? All right, because this is what's really important. In order for you to understand how the market maker operates, people seem to think that, oh, he can't allow it to go so low. What if he's actually in the red? The market maker he can stay in the red for as long as he wants. The concept of irrational behavior doesn't apply to the market maker because he's in his playground. He can do what he wants. Okay, he knows that at some point he's going to come back to these zones. Okay, now whether that's now, later, in a week's time, month, 2 years, who knows? We're looking at the 64,000 point, wishing that Bitcoin would come back up to that zone. Well, what if the market maker is not happy to be paying for price at that point? What if he wants to get his best fills at the lowest point possible? What if on the higher time frames we zoom out, okay? What if they are trying to concentrate as many longs as they can in this area right here with anticipation to move back up later on? Yeah? Because to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the even bigger higher time frames, let's drop onto the monthly, all right? Bitcoin has been rising, all right? It has been moving up. Look how old it is, man. I'm talking about trading it, okay? Look at how old this is. It's in its infantile stages, man. And I've said this before time and time again, okay? To help you understand what cryptocurrency is about, just look at how the S&P 500 behaves. Drop down onto the monthly. This is the monthly chart on the S&P 500. Right, look, 80, 77, 85, not relevant. Volatility coming in. Rise, drop. Rise, drop. Rise up, spike. Recession. Rise up, spike. Recession. Rise up, instability, subprime mortgage crisis, whatever it is, drop. Okay, well, it's 2007, 2008. And then they continue from that point. This is what we're going to experience with cryptocurrency. Okay, we will see these moves up and down, because it's interest. People will continuously come to cryptocurrency. Look at the adoption across the board. All right. Okay, you can have yourself a bearish market, 2 months, done. Next 3 months, after that 1 month there, it continues higher. Another 2 month bearish market moves higher. 2 months moves higher. Another 3 more months, holds the 50, bounces away from that point. All right. Bitcoin is no different, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin is no different. We're just getting started. Okay? Now, for a day trader, it really doesn't matter where we are in terms of the daily or the monthly. For a day trader, you can look at it for reference. But to be honest with you, I'm more concerned about what it's doing in these sort of zones right now. Okay? New York session, here we go. Full swing. 10 minutes into the New York session, you can see how busy they're getting. You want to see activity? Go on the 1 minute time frame. Watch how they try and come out. Look, mini W formation on the 1 minute time frame. Patterns within patterns, cycles within cycles. How long will this pattern last for? You got a pool of liquidity up here. Are we going to make another attempt towards the 43,500? Let's wait and see. Whilst we're waiting for that, look at Ethereum. Look at that. Nice W formation. She came down and hit the previous pool of liquidity on the 15-minute time frame. Look at that. Came down, hit the previous vector, moving away from that zone. Are we going to see a mini inverted head and shoulders at this point? Is that going to be the case? One more hit to the upside and then probably try and come back down again? Or are they going to completely break through and follow through with a rise, retrace, continuation to the upside? There's a possibility that we may hit the 200 EMA on the 15-minute time frame, which is the 50 EMA on the hourly. That is really important. All right, they need to bring it back into the fray. Look at that red vector candle, snap back up. Is this the market maker's attempt at building more longs at lower prices? Just look at the 1 hour time frame. What do you see? Inverted head and shoulders right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say to you is try and find the patterns within patterns, cycles within cycles, okay? Pay attention to the candlesticks and look at how the moves develop, all right? Is the New York session initiating a stop hunt rise, stop hunt low? What is it they're trying to do? There's the green vector candle, all right? So let's see if this is a stop hunt rise and then they're going to bring price down again. Or are they just going to continue straight through? Because she needs to keep moving higher for us to solidify they are going to move out of this zone and continue higher. Looking across the board itself, the best performer, there you go. Look, Sol is back up there. Algo is back up there again. Just look at this, man. What on earth is going on? Everything is going crazy right now, and this coin is moving up nicely, holding the 50 rise. Look at how many patterns you see on here. W formation, right? Check this out. W formation. You could assume rise level 1, rise up level 2, rise up level 3, rise up peak formation. Okay, how long they decide to move level 3 is purely down to how long the market maker intends on sending price higher. The next point of interest in this chart will be the 69 zone. $70 should be taken out one more time. You can see you've got the vector candles all the way across here, and then you've got another vector zone right here. Are they working towards that right there? Okay, so at this point, we may see a little bit of a retrace because it is sort of extended. We may want to test the 800 EMA on the 5-minute, which by principle will be the 200 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. Possibility of a retrace back into the vector candle, 50% of the orders hit, and then try and move back out again. So on the other hand, where are we at? Yes, reminder. Thank you very much, my man. Thank you. Okay, we're still good for time. Look at Sol, guys. Where are we at? Where's Sol? Come on. Let's have a look at Sol. See, Sol is doing very interesting behavior. Again, 50 EMA. Look at the patterns that are forming on these altcoins. 1, 2. Look at that. Strong. This is when someone asked the question, red candle, green candle formation. There's the perfect example of it. Red candle, green candle formation to appear at the lows. Green candle, red candle formation to appear at the highs. There is a classic example of that formation. And you can see bright as day what they did. They moved away from that point. Okay. 1, 2, 3 hits to the high. Okay. Above the 140 zone. Where is it? Above the 140 zone. Vector candle coming in right there. Okay, now we've got another vector candle appearing right here. Are they going to move Bitcoin and Ethereum before the alts take its place? Who knows? Algo. Where's Algo going? Retrace on the 50 EMA. There it is right there. Recovery of the vector candle. This is where they make the decision at the pivot point. A lot of confluence is happening right now. We would need to see them come back up into the zone. Potentially, this could be the move that they could roll down to if they fail to continue higher in the charts. Okay. Patterns within patterns, cycles within cycles. Dot. Let's have a look at Dot. Beautiful pattern right there, guys. Look at that. Inverted head and shoulders. We may be forming another shoulder over here. Depends on if the move continues higher. Okay. So, thank you very much, Alex, man. So, where are we at right now? What else? Let me look at XRP. Here we go. XRP doing exactly the same thing. Inverted head and shoulders. I need to find a coin that's not really giving me the same behavior. BNB showing exactly the same sort of structure right there. Come on, BNB. Come on. Taking too long. Vet. Let's have a look at Vet. Here we go. Vet's doing very nice. Vet is doing really nice. It looks like they're moving Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP today. In light of the fractional disparity, they're going to be moving the majors. All right, the major coins. What's Bitcoin doing? Back up again. There we are. Right there. That's what's important. Thing is, what's bugging me is these stopping volume candles that are appearing in this zone. Not good. I don't like that. We know where they could send price down to. These are all vector points. This could be the start of the right shoulder on this pattern right here. Or the vector candle points right here. Another vector zone. This could be a deeper point in the actual chart for a start of a W formation or inverted head and shoulders. Okay, you can see that right there. Yeah. We just need to wait and see what New York does. At the start of the new 1 hour candle, we should see that move higher. Let me pull up my guys for Forex as well. See, look, the US Brink session right here. Bitcoin trades all the way down towards the range daily low, pull straight back, range weekly low, pull straight back. Yesterday's low has been shown support. We've got the daily open right here, and price tends to gravitate towards this zone. It acts as a magnet. Okay? It is a perfect example of when price wants to come back to the point of interest in the zone. Someone's talking about ADA. Let me pull up ADA right now. All right, Cardano, here we go. ADA comes back into that pool of liquidity. Look at that. Treacherous behavior. Here we go. Watch this. The recovery of the wick to the T takes it all out. Okay? Very sharp behavior by ADA, man. All right? Looking on the higher time frame, we are at a massive turning point. They're either going to continue up, hit the 50, drop. Okay? Or they're going to go and break straight through it. Stopping volume, green, red candle, green candle formation. So far, it's holding that pattern. You just saw that red candle, green candle formation a moment ago. Same sort of behavior on ADA. Where can we project it to go? Well, we have these previous pools of liquidity in the chart. But until they break above the 5 and the 13 EMA, okay, and continue higher, once they break through the 50 EMA, then that would give us the intention. So we're waiting for price to hit this point, retrace, come back up. This retrace right here would be testing the 5 and the 13 EMA, okay, because the 5 and 13 EMA by principle would finish like so. The 13 EMA would, the 5 EMA would end up there. The 50 EMA, okay, would be here, okay. So then by that, momentum should be pushing the 50 EMA up. This is what you're waiting for. There's no trade right now. You want to be brave and start taking trades whilst things are developing. Get prepared. You know, you're going to lose money because they're going to throw you about in this range. Wait for a clear view that momentum is favoring higher prices. Look at the RSI. Outside the volatility band, back inside the volatility band. Mini W formation. RSI hasn't even crossed over the market baseline. So there's not that much strength in this move just yet. It needs to break over the market baseline, continue up towards the volatility band on the upper band right there. Okay, you can see they're starting to contract, so that's good news. What you don't want is you don't want the RSI bands to come in like this. There's no volatility there, so there's no trade for you. Okay? Mbox, you know what? I like Mbox. I like their platform as well. Mbox is pretty good. Let's have a look. What's Mbox at? It's gone down to $4 now. Yeah, it is a new coin, guys, so there's not that much history. Look, it's just printed its 50 EMA, okay? It's not even got its 200 EMA. Can't make nothing of it, all right? Look at how unstable it is. There's not that much liquidity coming into it. So it's a new venture, so let's see how this one plays out. Matic, what's Matic doing? Holding the 800 EMA. Cake, let's have a look at Cake. Again, 1, 2, 3 hits on the 800 EMA. Are they going to hold this, all right? Because if Bitcoin completely collapses, then everything else behind it will follow. Where's Bitcoin? One more time. Let me just bring this down here. Where are we at? 10-2. Okay, then. Where are we going? Okay, so Bitcoin looks like it's forming nicely up here. Here we go. Nice strong move. New York Brinks. Still not good enough for me. Still not good enough. I'm not happy with that. I need to see a clean break up. Smaller time frame. That's where we're going to see the magic. Here we go. Start. Okay then. Fair enough. W formation playing out perfectly so far. 50 EMA, price above it. 5 and 13 crossing over. 200 EMA came back. Retest, continuation to the upside. Patterns within patterns, cycles within cycles. Rise, retrace, continuation to the upside. Next pool of liquidity in sight if they do break. Because the 43,500 is an important zone. They built their longs below that zone, and now they've added some more longs right here, here, and here. Stopping volume candle right there on the 1 minute, and now come back up, down again, and then shifting out of the zone. There you go. Violet candle right there should push price back up again into this zone. Last week's low is in sight as well, so they're going to be at an important point to break up in that zone right there if they can, because they already tapped it and pulled straight away, but they can absorb enough liquidity in that zone right there. So let's see how they play out with it. Nice one, my brother. Take care, bro. Here we go. New 5-minute candle coming into play. Let's witness the sickness on that bad boy. Let's just look at some Forex for a second. What's gold at? Gold coming up, retracing, back up again. Next pools of liquidity for gold. Got to be careful because tomorrow there is a lot of news coming out. It's the FOMC minutes tomorrow. They may just mark up gold into a zone, keep it still, and dollar yen as well at the same time. They may hold everything right now in relation to the FOMC minutes. So it's really important that we keep an eye out on that. This is why you're not seeing many major currency pairs moving. All right, it's all the minor pairs that are moving. Let's have a look at Euro Kiwi. Happy days for Euro Kiwi moving back up right there. That's great news. Let me see what else the other miners. Euro GBP. Euro GBP is rising up, coming out from a peak formation. There you go, big W formation in that zone. If you zoom out, you will see where it's coming from. Nice drop down there. Euro USD is coming all the way down. It was 10 days from a peak formation, reset with the spike up back into the zone. It's now formed another 4 peak formation high. It's now 4 days away from this previous peak. It's now forming support at this point. It's retraced 90% of the move back down where the last W formation was right there. It's come all the way up. Now it's come all the way back down. We're waiting for the information tomorrow on the FOMC minutes. So you'll see all the majors holding. Bitcoin starting to break down at this point. So moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Be mindful with New York. One of the things you need to consider as well, guys, is when London closes at around 5:30 GMT, that's when New York may show its hand, okay? And then that means we'll be down a pool of liquidity because that's when the UK markets, the European markets actually close, okay? So just be mindful of that. I am going to get ready to go and get her shortly, guys, okay? Okay, take a couple of questions. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are mad for that. Thank you so much. All right, then. Where are we at? Let me have a look at a couple of questions. Tino, Seca Carpe Diem. Carpe Diem, baby, man. Embrace every moment. So, can we pick some information off the moving delay between an asset and another? For instance, can we discover a kind of systematic rule between the moving time of algo, Bitcoin, or Ethereum? So, what you're asking, in essence, is there for any fractional disparity between certain coins? Well, here's one fractional disparity element for you. Okay, look at Bitcoin, right? And then look at dollar yen. So I'm going to split the screen. Check this out. I'm going to change this and go USD JPY. Let's go with an under. All right. Interesting behavior, isn't it? Yeah? What's going on there? Because it's bizarre in its nature. When people favor risk, okay, they put it into the likes of dollar, all right? Now, that can be a good thing and a bad thing. But ultimately, when people are scared or investors are scared, they put their money in gold. Now, the problem with the disparity between gold and dollar is when you think that gold is dropping, you think people are favoring assets that are more risk on. So that means risk is on. Investors aren't scared anymore, okay? But at the same time, they are marking up price, preparing it for potentially another fearful aspect in the economy because they don't want to pay for gold at mad prices, especially at $1,800. They want to pay for it cheaper, which explains why they've dropped price in relation to the FOMC minutes tomorrow. Now, they could actually mark gold down, okay? Investors are now stepping into gold. We could actually see these next pools of liquidity based on whatever is released tomorrow by the FOMC, okay? By that principle, it means that the investors are now taking their money out of dollar and putting it into gold. So usually what we do like to see is when dollar is dropping, we want Bitcoin to rise because Bitcoin is traded against the US dollar. Most of the contracts for difference are anyway. All right. And we did see that fractional disparity. When dollar yen was dropping, Bitcoin was rising. When dollar yen was rising, Bitcoin was dropping. Okay. If you look at this move to the upside from the 16th of September, where was Bitcoin at the 16th of September? All right. 16th of September, it was sort of rising. You can see it mimicked the same behavior. Okay. So investors were committing funds into risk on assets. Now they're taking them out. Bitcoin is dropping. But sometimes when dollar is rising, Bitcoin drops. Now, I thought that Bitcoin was on the CME futures as an asset to hedge. So when it's time to hedge, if the dollar is dropping, naturally Bitcoin should be rising. All right? So when it's dropping, it should rise, but it's not rising. Why is it trading the same way as dollar? So there's always going to be that disparity between them. In light of your question about the actual algo or Bitcoin and what have you, all right? We know that when Ethereum does pretty well, most of the altcoins pretty much do well as well, okay? If Bitcoin rises, then the altcoins are going to start doing the same thing, okay? But only in some aspects. But what we need to be aware of is this, right? Bitcoin is the most heavily traded coin, followed by Ethereum, then XRP. All right? That might be different now. But there's disparity between Ethereum, Bitcoin, and XRP, and we're trying to establish this. All right? Because we saw before when Ethereum was making the move to the upside, Bitcoin and XRP were holding. All right? And every time Ethereum would hold, Bitcoin and XRP would make their move. Right now, there's been a clear reset across the board. So we're now waiting for intention. Will they move higher? Who's going to move first? Ethereum, Bitcoin, or XRP? Usually, if you want to know where Ethereum's going to go, Litecoin tends to be the one that moves first. Okay? So if Litecoin ain't moving, Ethereum ain't going to move. And that's bizarre, isn't it? It's funny how Litecoin tends to have a little bit of an impression on Ethereum. If you go back in the streams many months ago, say about 3-4 months ago, you would always see Litecoin making a move and then all of a sudden Ethereum would follow suit. It's crazy. Yes, I am going to go. It's number 5 now and BNB and ADA. There you go. There you go. I think this could be in relation to the FOMC minutes. Tomorrow it's going to be very important. Okay, there's going to be a lot of information coming out tomorrow because look, check this out. So this is Forex Factory. Okay, the information that's coming out tomorrow, Wednesday, is the FOMC economic projections. All right, so where do they see the US economy going next? And then this is the statement. And then the federal funds rate, and then the press conference later on. Keep an eye out on this, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see gold and dollar yen do absolute chaotic movements based on what they reveal in this press conference. Okay, followed by on Thursday, you don't have much information coming out, so pay attention to pound dollar, so cable. All right, and then Friday we have the Fed Chair Powell speaks. Okay, so that's really important as well. So they're going to be talking a lot about the economy this week. Going over to CryptoCraft itself, anything in particular? Yeah, Evergrande missed payments due by Monday, at least 2 banks. Fair enough. Is that going to cause a massive, massive problem? They just use that as a reason to mark price down lower so they can get more money back up. Okay? There you go. Dalio. Ray. My guy Ray. The roughest trader out there. Runs a massive hedge fund. Okay, says Bitcoin has an imputed value, not an intrinsic value. And 90% of people come in and base it on price. You know, so sad. So this platform here is really good for just pulling out information about what's being spoken about in cryptocurrency across the board. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for passing through to the channel. Be sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you pass through tonight's live at 10 p.m. GMT so we can summarize what has happened today. I've got to go and get my daughter. Mad love and respect to all of you. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much. Okay. See you in a bit, guys. Mad love.